actual screen. Hello. Oh my god, this is all wrong. I don't think you can see what I'm. Can you see my
Now
screen? Hey, V time.
I was looking for the chat room. I was like, just told me to join and couldn't find it.
Well, can you check on YouTube? You can see. Let
Oh
me
yeah. But I'm
open
saying
up.
like join here.
Oh my god, what's wrong
I
with
was
my mouse
having
today?
technical difficulties.
I'm always having technical difficulties. It's always gonna happen. Thank you, chicken, for test. Can you hear the music?
I can't.
You cannot? No? No music? Okay. Maybe it's too low. Let me see. How about now?
Well,
Okay,
I'm not
supposed to be
looking
good.
at the YouTube, so
You're
I
supposed
probably
to be
that's why
looking at the
probably I can't
YouTube.
hear it.
Is that Hulk naked?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna just. Alright, we'll just see if the music works or not, but I'm gonna just lower it down. I don't want to be too loud because then you guys cannot hear me and it's just all music, right? Okay, so welcome everybody to the podcast today. Today we're gonna talk about um upgrading from T11 troops to T13 at the most efficient way and cheapest way as possible. That so you can focus what you need to upgrade instead of going random and wasting your money or your time and upgrading the wrong things. So what we have here is a slideshow. Let me go hit back to the beginning slideshow, obviously, because I don't know why I'm here. I want to say thank you to Boogie for making this slideshow and giving all the good details. So thank you, Boogie. He was going to be here tonight, but he could not make it, unfortunately. Hopefully, he'll make it. But I have Polo from 269 and V Time from 372.
Yeah.
Yes, 372. Okay. So, you guys read the slideshows, right?
Yeah, I read
You want to start V Time?
it. So yeah, skip everything 38. Save your money. Unlike some of us. Now, I definitely saw it and definitely makes sense for cost efficiency. Like C38 is super expensive to maintain. I feel just because of the EMPs and shredders. I think they definitely hit us hard on whoever's long range. So yeah, skip the workshop and go straight to C40 and get your tanks and cannons for sure.
What we do recommend is for you to skip completely the T12 snipers. So do not upgrade the camps. If you're a fighter, you should not upgrade your camps. Skip the snipers. Don't just go straight to the factory. Upgrade the factory because snipers are only good for um zombie events or anything to do with the game that is regards to zombies outside of player versus player. So when you use your snipers, you use them in Mother Doom, in Medici, in what was the other one? The Iron guy.
Anything that involves a one target.
Yes, anything that is one target and not a player. Now, why the factory? The factory has the best troops that is used for player versus player, which are shredders, tanks, cannons, and bikes. Bikes in factory, right?
I don't think even mid rangers use bikes that much.
Mid rangers use the bikes for Medici. Bikes are your best friends in Medici.
I thought that was
So if
gunners.
you're no no. So if you're a mid-range player, you would use bikes. Unless being T13, maybe they'll use gunners as a T13 switch, but I do not know.
I guess
Maybe
that's what
someone
I'm
who's a
thinking.
mid-ranger can tell us, and we'll see.
For our mid rangers in UBN, for group attacks, we only use rockets. T12 rockets. We don't have anyone, and I guess T11 of Havoc, whatever they're called, T11 in the workshop. We don't have any one of our mid rangers use bikes. I think maybe they use bikes in 1v1, maybe because the rapid fire from the bikes might help in a 1v1 battle. But for group attacks, we don't have anyone use bikes.
Yes, so rockets are the best for when it's player versus player. And it's also recommended when you're a long range player and you have mid range players, it's always best to not send bikes over because you'll be messing up your mid range buddies. Just keep that noted. So, the next step, once you are a C37, so you already are moving up to get your T12s, the best thing to do when you're a C37 is to get T12 shredders. Why do you want T12 shredders? Because frontline is a very important thing to have. If you don't have frontline, you might as well just be a farm. Because every person needs to have frontline, and every person needs to send frontline whenever there's a group attack. If you don't send none, I'm pretty sure your team is gonna kick you out and burn you if you don't. Right, guys?
Yeah, but so back to that point though, like one of the biggest things I'm noticing is some people rush their build though, to be honest with you, and then they end up getting shredders. And from my understanding, it's tier type that gets averaged out. So like say like we still have somebody who is like building fast, but they have T10 shredders and I have T12 shredders. I think that if someone was to go straight to T12 shredders, but their HP is still very, very low, he's actually going to screw me over because it'll average out per tier, if I remember right. So it's kind of like, do you want to get there real, real fast necessarily and screw up the average, or do you build up the stats with it? So that's going to be kind of a hard thing to manage for some players. What are you
Well,
guys' thought on that? Like, do you
for a player
what?
who's on using T11s, obviously they will use T11 tanks, not T10 shredders. They'll use T11 tanks because they're still useful.
No,
So
yeah, but
I
if we're,
guess I guess what you're trying to say is what's more important, the higher tier of the troop, or from what I understand, you're saying it's the weighted average per troop type and tier in a group battle.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so like if we're telling them, well, we obviously we're trying to help them get to C40 so they can have the troop type, but then they also need to understand that by having that tier troop type, you're gonna actually end up hurting some of the bigger players because you don't have the stats to go with it. So it's kind of like a little balancing act we have to do with it too.
Yeah. I mean, I would always say troop tier is more important, so long as like you're not absolutely crap with your stats. You know, yeah, I guess both are important. But for players that are already in the higher city levels, I hope their stats aren't crap anyways. Like if you're a city 37 pushing to go to 38 and above, like I'm
Yeah,
assuming this player has spent money and this player doesn't have, really low stats. You know,
yeah.
like
So
so low
I
that
mean,
it's going to affect a weighted average of 40 players in a group battle. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So I'm in the like 372, so obviously closer to 400. So I'm in Globe 5. So I'm noticing that there is a lot of top tier cities, but there isn't like that huge spread. Like not a lot of C37s unless you're a spender. So now that it's all say if will have a C40 hopefully by Christmas time, and most of my team is C35. Is their T11 tanks and cannons gonna affect me? So I think I've asked Camel, and they still can't give me a straight answer. So I'm not sure if it's like tier tier troops, or just because that's the same troop type that my average is going to get like pretty much a smack in the face?
I think it goes by troop and tier.
Troop and
Oh,
tier.
hello, Taco.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, so see, that's where like I'm having real hard time with like right now, like because a lot of players in my nation are still like C34s going into C36. So it's like there's still a huge gap in a sense. So I'm kind of like nervous about C40 from that point of view because Camo can't give me a straight answer of how it's affected.
Let me mute Taco real quick because I don't think he's gonna. Can you mute yourself, Taco?
Did I? Oh, sorry. Should I?
Are you
Yeah,
gonna
I
Are you gonna
can.
talk?
I mean, I can if you want me to.
You want to put some input?
I just joined, so I missed like the last little bit, so I don't know what was going on.
Okay. Okay. Well, welcome. Okay.
I'm from an older
So
nation, but yeah, or not an older, a newer nation, but yeah,
which nation are you in?
799.
Ah,
Like, baby.
baby here. All right. So what B10 is saying, obviously players need to focus on their officers, their titans, their plane, their equipment, and everything else to have their stats for them to have those higher level T troops. So if your stats are like below, let's say you're like in 300 long range or 400 long range, and you're trying to get to to T13, you may consider just focus more on raising up your attack and HP instead of going up the ranks in your build, right?
Don't people know that?
Now I'm just going with what B-Time is
Oh,
saying or was worried
okay.
about because it's obvious, but a lot of people that are new to the game don't know that. So, oh, they think about, oh,
So
I'm just gonna fastly upgrade my city to C38 without putting the
but
time and effort on the stats, right?
well, here's the benefit of going C38 or C40. You will have those tier troop type troops and uh, troops, right? Tier and troops, and obviously the garage. This is a long game, so technically speaking, the stats will always catch up. But having the city takes time, so it's kind of like which one do you do? Like, do you force the C40 and then build the stats slowly but surely? Because like that's also I also think that's actually cheaper in the long run to do get the troop type and then okay, this person did it this way to build a city this way. You can pick ideas. Like obviously I've shared my ideas how to grow a city faster with very minimal spending, but it takes time and effort. So it's kind of like yes, is it beneficial having those tier two tribes? Yes, and then this is a long game, so you can technically still raise the stats every week, and you're still going to see progression, and you're not going to kill yourself to get there. Because I know people that quit, they're like, this is taking too long because they get like so anxious and just they just can't take the 1.8% every single week of growth. But technically speaking, in over 4 months, it's like it's huge though too.
Okay. But still, they still need to focus on the main things that is the stats either way. Because how can you be a C38 and your long range or mid range, it's at 400? Well, everybody else is 600, 800. Do you know what I mean?
I guess it's that will be more for like newer nations how they go about it. Because for us, it's like
Yeah, because
we've already gone through the
this,
trial.
You have
sorry,
nations like that or cities
I
like
have
that?
seen. I have seen.
Really interesting.
I mean, I've seen a C38 with like 1,000 long range, and they're C38s. But I've also seen like they kind of quit on it. They just got the city, so it's kind of like the progression stopped. They won't get what they want, so they won't give the city or sell the city. They're at a point where just like fuck it, it is what it is.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I'm trying to
the
build
point
mine.
is,
Yeah.
what level are you?
36.
36. Okay. So you're working up to get your T12 shredders?
Yeah. Trying
Yeah.
to. Need to get to 37, but eventually.
I'm gonna save up the uranium for that. But
Yeah.
either way, yes, there needs to be a balance. But let's say you're a player that you did your homework, you have focus on your officers, try your best on your titans, did your warplane. Because for me, you gotta focus. For me, I'm sure everybody else is different, but for me, I'd rather focus on my stats than upgrade my buildings and upgrade my tier level because it's better to have a foundation in your strength than just upgrading your level, your tier, and everything, your troop levels, and you're just weak. You know what I mean? Right?
I do. Yep.
V-time?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
Hello.
That's how I did my city.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, everybody, I'm pretty sure that's how everybody did their city, but I'm pretty sure the newer players from newer worlds are just, we think, oh, I need to be C38, need to be now, instead of just going slowly, I guess. Take your time.
Yeah, what's the point of having a higher tier troop if your stats suck? I mean, the troops will suck still.
Exactly. The troops they won't survive. They're just gonna die. There's no point. Bodies say use old shredders works well. Well, yeah, and uranium mine. Imagine using old
I still die
shredders in a
easily
group
too.
attack.
I have great stats and I die very easily to some whales.
And you have to be like a mega whale. You're in the between. All right, so going back to this because I feel like we went off track. All right, so if you're T11 to T13, obviously you're gonna go to C37. Once you're C37, you're gonna raise your factory to C37 to get your T12 shredders. If you're gonna go to C38, since C41 and C40 already come out, it is recommended, and we suggest, hey, you do you, but it's suggested, skip lasers. I say skip lasers. Go straight to T13. Why waste the uranium to get T12 lasers when you can save up the uranium, get T13 tanks and cannons, right?
I agree.
I agree
I
99%
definitely
of
agree
the
with that.
time. I know I have a player who I think he's at workshop. He has City 38. He has workshop 36 or 37 or something. I don't think he's a huge spender. He said that he will reach factory 40 in maybe a year to a year and a half. I guess whatever his math is. That's what he said. And I told him, okay, just get T12 laser, so you have something in the meantime. I think anyone else should skip that because most people for long range probably should have a workshop at 30 still, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that was the last field because I remember I had it at I had it at 30. Then I realized that oh shoot, like I get EMPs at 38, so then I had to like buy and save a lot of uranium to go to workshop 38. It was super expensive and stupid.
Yeah, most people are going to not be in that situation, hopefully, and they can just skip it all and just focus straight on T13 factory troops.
So this graph that I'm showing, Taco, if you're looking at YouTube, you can see the graph. Maybe you can see how much uranium and resources will take you to get to your T12 shredders. So this is an image who I
Limit.
get. We got 30. Unexpected, but hey, it's
Is that
hype.
good or bad?
It's half good, half bad. I mean, it's the first time well, my first time having
I think
Void
it's gonna be
against them.
boring. I think
You
it's
think it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a boring
boring?
boy. Yeah, I think for you guys for sure.
I mean, I expect at least 5 or 4 NX3 players to recruit like crazy for their T13s. I expect at
What's
least 5 of them.
crazy do you consider?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the gap
Science
is
has
gonna be like 20 billion at recruitment
20
phase. I'm not
billion.
talking about, yeah, it could be up to 20 billion if 5 of them is recruiting like crazy for T13s.
Oh wow, that is crazy.
I mean, I do expect that. I mean, can't do much about it.
Well,
Will it
Can
be
you
50
time to
combat
recruit?
that
is be
or
recruiting a lot too at
not?
Wait,
T13,
one at a
right?
time, please. Taco?
I would say, can your nation or alliance combat that and support that similar amount of recruitment?
We could, but I feel like that's a waste. If you know what I mean. It's a waste of speed. It's a waste of recruiting for just one event where we can save it for other voids, if you know what I'm saying.
Do you have
Polo, what you
a?
were saying? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Do I have what?
I was gonna say, does your nation have a C40, 41 or so that can recruit those T13s? Like, if they didn't have them
Taco,
already?
Taco, do me a favor. Look at the game and go to Nation 52, and then look at the cities, and that would explain to you a lot.
Yeah, yeah, do that. That will help you. What you were saying,
No.
Yeah,
Polo? Polo? Polo.
Yeah, I'm here. I forget what I was saying.
Marco. Okay. Well, Taco, to help you more understand about 52, just go to the game,
No,
click the little glow.
I know 52 is like a killer nation. I do know that. But
He's pretty much asking if Boogie or Zombie is going to be recruiting a lot of T13. Right.
That's the
But we
thing.
but we can't really they can't really say that, right? You know, because that's just that says their
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
sorry.
that's just giving it away.
No,
We do
I
have two C41s. We do have two C41s, and some of our guys are gonna go up to C40, and hopefully some of them will have enough for T13 troops, which I believe it can help a lot during the attack phase of the event. So very excited for this void. But we'll see. I'll record everything during the recruitment phase and everything. I'll have a little the same way I did to 219 and 280 280 sorry 269 219 versus 269. I made like a little video chart that show how much the points were like going up and down because of recruitment. Remember, Polo?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna do that because I'm pretty sure recruitment phase will just be like that. It's just gonna go crazy. Unless 30 doesn't want to do that, then yeah, that would be great. Wink, wink. Let's just, let's not do that.
Nikki, what's the biggest deficit you guys have overcome, like going into Phase 5?
Let me think. I think. Are we talking about
That's a
Void
good
or
question.
Frenzy? Or either?
Probably more curious and void, but I'd listen to either.
I think I have. I never made the video of it. I think our biggest deficit was newly merged 255. When they newly merged, I think we did have Void against them when they recently merged. Obviously, when a nation recently merges, they have a lot of activity, so the gap is bigger because they have a lot more players doing the events, the commander events. Let me try to remember how much was it. I I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna say like it was like probably 15 billion while we were at probably 5 billion. But then again, we also went against World 2 in Frenzy, and their top player was like, I think she was the first C41 because World 2 at just like exactly at reset, they got the update. So she was the first to upgrade to C41. So during Frenzy, she went crazy during recruitment. And she recruited so much T13 that her final score in recruitment was like almost 4 billion. Literally almost 4 billion. And that was all just on recruitment for T13s. So because of that, I'm pretty sure. Let me look real quick. I have the picture. Mm, Polo, do you have an example of that, of an experience of that as well while I look for a picture?
An example of what?
A big deficit during a before killing event.
Our biggest one was probably against 286. I think it was, but that was not close to your example. I think ours was like somewhere between 3 and 4 billion.
Oh wow.
I don't think the older nations get that big of much of a gap unless it's a merger has happened recently. But
Yeah.
in the 300s, you get that a lot because we're going up against a lot of lock nations. So going into the kill phase, you're sometimes 5 billion behind. The Chinese lock nations are like messy. Like you can make the difference real quick if you play it right.
It's kind of
Alright.
shocking how bad they are at Void and Frenzy because they typically have very strong cities.
They only care about Civil
Who
War.
are?
Sorry, what you say,
Yeah,
Taco?
Big Bird faces a lot of those nations for sure.
What nation are you in, Big Bird?
459.
Oh.
Big news from RGC was 457, who's a lock nation and has like the top handful of cities in our globe. They got knocked out in the semis by 524, with I believe some help from 460 and 522. So kudos to them. That's a big win. And it sounded like 457 was pretty pissed about it on Global Nation Chat.
Bad.
Hmm.
I remember when 285 went against 457 for the first time. And there's a video about it if you guys have not seen it. But the whole time 457 had the lead the whole time during commander event. So the gap was big, and 285 were worried that they couldn't they wouldn't find enough targets to, to fight against the lead they had during commander event. But during the whole void, all 457 did was just attack the farms. Any farms that they see, any little city that had resources, they will attack it and eat it. Literally. 5 fleet on that little farm. That's all they did. And that I will never forget it. Literally, I saw a bunch of them come over to see this little farm and they just start eating it. That's all they did. And then 285 won because obviously they're just five fleeting this one city, and obviously you can just counter and get and attack them.
It's funny, we had the exact same experience. It was like they would go nuts over 500k as steel or something wild like that. No farm
Yeah,
was safe.
exactly. Oh yeah, no farms were saved during that day. 285 became poor.
I kind of wonder if because they're super merged, like they had 9 nations in one before we had our first merger in the 400s. I wonder if they're truly resource starved.
I believe they are because why would they just focus on just attacking farms and taking the resources?
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
with you.
Alright, I think I found the picture. Let me see if I can add it.
See, I never thought about that. That's actually a good point. That makes a lot more sense now. Why they do that? Because we had 603, and I thought that was strange because we're in 372 and we're like 603. Like, what the hell is this? Like, they had some strong cities, but we were down 2.5 billion, and then we went up 2 billion on them by the end of kill phase because they were just trying to get resources. I thought it was the strangest thing ever.
Another thing that I learned about locked nations, they love to have civil war. They love fighting each other instead of fighting us. That's what I learned. They rather fight themselves in their own nation rather than fight another nation. They rather steal the resources from another nation and fight their own themselves. You know what I mean?
But I wonder if that's because like it's regional. It's kind of like saying like, is Jersey better or Brooklyn better? You know what I mean? Like I wonder if it's just like that type of beef that happens within them.
All right, so here's if you see in YouTube, right here, this was before Frenzy started. So the score between us and World 2, I don't have the one when I went against 255 when they newly merged, but I know the gap was big. But this is the most recent thing I have. So, as you can see, they got 10 billion and we only made 5 billion. That's how big the gap was. And obviously, okay, so it was 3 billion that she recruited in points. So all these points she has, it was all by recruiting T13. Spamming T13s for hours, and she got this much points, which was a lot. But yeah, the gap between us it was pretty big, as you can see. Yeah, you see that, Big Bird? Oh, hey, Lumberg.
Hello, hello. I saw
No, no,
those
no, 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 no.
13
You
I know
gotta do
gotta
your
give me
signature.
yeah, you gotta do your greetings.
greetings. Greetings, everyone. Okay, I saw her T13s in action, so I think she changed her name and you know we started playing. It's like,
Oh
oh,
boy,
Jenny's not here
no.
round two, and nope, she was there. Her T13s like, who is this killing our tower like with 20 people? It was Jenny and her T13s. She had like I don't know 6 fleets. I feel like or it was insane.
6? How can she have 6?
I mean, maybe she healed. It just felt like never ending.
He
It
means
looked like
five.
she would have. It looked like she would have 10 fleets.
I'll be happy to have 12 fleets.
I don't know what her BP was before. Do you remember from recruiting? So that can give us a quick idea. She's like 450 is
Did she record it?
when we saw her. I don't know what her BP was at C38, but that's probably
Let me check
all
real
she
quick.
recruited.
Hold on, I'm checking. She was at. Is that on? Oop, nope, wrong person. Where's Jenny? I know I took a picture before we started. Where is she? Is
So
this
while
the
you're
one?
looking at that, Lumber, I got a quick question. Have you seen a significant difference in cannons and EMPs and then tanks and shredders? Like that you seem pretty obvious.
No,
After the
I
hits.
haven't done any analysis on that. It's you know it's really hard because the people that have T13s are monsters anyway, right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of gauge. And the people that are fighting T13 are actually already have T13, but I did see some videos where somebody with T12 still beat somebody with T13. I can't name names, but they sent me a recording. Didn't want to share it publicly. So based on that, I would say I guess your setup and your fleet is still more important than the tiers. I mean, these are two people with gold planes, so they're both spending. But I guess you can have the right spending and still beat T13 with T12. So
Well, I mean, I've seen pictures of it, not a video, but I don't know if it's the same person, but that person I know is in 379 who did that.
it's a different person then. But
Oh,
we're not.
okay. So
We're not disclosing.
Very
That's one of the
cute for it.
questions some of us have been knocking around. It's like if you have to really ramp up your focus on uranium in order to get to T13, is it worth doing that, or is it worth continuing to develop, plane, Titans, zombies, that sort of thing, and maybe slow roll the uranium? Curious if you guys have had that discussion at all.
Lumber, you can
We
answer that.
did. Yeah, I'll let Lumbers answer that one because we kind of did.
I can comment on that, and I'm a spendthrift, right? So uranium accumulates free, right? So you should absolutely get the monthly card. But the real question is, if you want to spend, let's say, $1,000 a month in your budget, and you want to get to C40, faster than the average player, you'll be spending on uranium packs. And slow rolling it means that you're going to spend on something that actually, something else that makes you stronger. So let's if you categorize your spend, right, there's spend that actually makes your city stronger. There's spend that actually helps your world and alliance win events and speeds and consumables. And then there's let's say spend that kind of progresses the speed of your city on resources, which you should never spend on, and uranium, right? So some certain things you can never get without spending. For example, later levels of alloy blueprint and for Titans and Warplanes. Right now, the game's broken. Without a doubt, spending on Warplane, if you have no bottomless wallet, is going to give you the biggest return than anything else, right? So Warplanes and Titans are still kind of where there's the premium items. You can't get it without spending. But usually the people that are spending at that level, they're like, yeah, I'll spend on uranium anyway. So they need to get everything maxed. If you're a normal average player, then I would suggest that you spend on things that keeps you competitive and makes you stronger, on a permanent basis, as well as speeds and heals and things like that. But heals you shouldn't buy, but the speeds you might need. And by speeds, I mean fleet speeds, not building speeds or recruitment speeds. Those you get from Road of Legends and some other events and other packs and free events. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but my thought process would be, uranium is just time. You're just buying up speed. But if you have a limited budget, you're probably better off spending it in building the real things that require spending versus buying time.
Yeah, that matches my thoughts. If you're limited, spend it on the stuff that actually requires spends to progress, as opposed to just speeding up the rate of accumulation of something you get for free.
And one more thing to think about is, like, if you really consider the people that spend that much to get there, they're just sitting on tons and tons of uranium. That's why we have C41s on the day or the hour after it's released, right? Because they spent so much and kept buying. But who knows? There might be a new resource, a new rare resource. So I don't think you should ever accumulate knowing that there's zero value to that uranium if C38 to C41 required a new rare resource that Camel introduced. They could, they can do whatever they want, right? So it's just, I think it's better to not, it's a good idea to kind of like have enough things to do bounty, but it's probably a bad idea to speed to the finish line and then just sit there and accumulate.
Somebody asking in chat, James, how much does it cost to get a gold plane? Do you guys know how much would it cost? I know it's a lot.
Polo does, Mr. Gold.
Actually, I have no idea. I just bought it.
It would cost you $10,000.
$10,000?
I don't know if it was that. Maybe. 5 to 10 maybe.
Nah, I'm joking. It cost me 25 or maybe $3,000 to get to purple tier 1. So I'm assuming it's gonna cost you another $2,000 to get there, maybe 3.
So you're
I
saying
mean,
like 30,000?
like legit, it cost me about $2 to $3,000 to get to purple. So I can only assume it's gonna cost you another 2 to 3 to get to tier 1 gold.
I think you're gonna double the cost to purple to go from purple 1 to gold 1.
So if it
So I
costs
think
2 or
I
3,
think
you're doubling
I
to
think
6.
yeah, I
Lee
think
God. How much? You would
Let's
know.
let
Lee God is in the chat.
Yeah, let's ask this. Let's ask Lee God.
Hey Lee God, you can join us over here. Let me send you a link to my Discord so you can join us up in here if you wanna. If you wanna. If you don't wanna, that's okay.
I think
the
the
I think
problem
problem
is
someone
is
did the math.
purple 2 to gold takes so much that if you want to do it in any reasonable amount of time, you got to dip into the regular shop, which has the worst deals. And
I think
so,
that's why. Sorry.
oh no, you go.
I think that's why it's very recommended. Not that. How do I say it? For people that are not mega whales or mega spenders, getting to purple and having the first purple skill, which is the disruptor. It's the first skill, right? The disruptor skill. You're set. That's it. You're done. Go switch it up. Leave the plane alone. You're good at that stage. You're good. That's like one of the best skills outside from getting to gold, but like to get to there, it's good enough, you know? Oh, it's the
Actually,
second skill.
it's, yeah, it's purple tier 4 is what you should really aim for if you're gonna be that type of player. Because if tier 4 gives you a higher percentage of that thing actually attacking, basically nerfing a troop. So yeah, purple tier 4 is actually where you want to get to
All
if
right, so
you're gonna
Lee
be
God
that type of
said tier
spender.
4 purple is best. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I already know. Take a note. Tier 4 purple. That's the goal.
Or you can be smart and just go attack with the person that has that plane, and you get your kills too.
That too, that works.
That's kind of been what I've said to some of our lower spend players is like the plane at purple and gold is almost like an alliance need. It's not an individual need. If you've got a couple people that have them at each of those tiers, like you're kind of set for big EWs and everything like that because they'll be in the mix, you know?
Yeah, but if you're competitive, you're gonna get that plane. So that's where I had the hardest time with this game. Where like I am very competitive, so but to an extent, right? I know what my limits are with spending. I'm not gonna get that purple plane because I want to compete. I want to get top 10. You see what I'm saying? So it caters to those people in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker who got a gold plane, so I understand exactly what you're saying.
So
can
like
we
gold
talk?
plane for me.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lumber. I was just gonna comment on him, but go ahead.
I'm really curious as to the game dynamic, meaning, you know, does I mean, it's clearly on display when you're fighting, in the big alliance battle or elite wars, and you see that, the enemy has a gold plane and the skills going off. I mean, it makes a huge difference. I don't know if you guys noticed, like some of the post-plane era battles, your bar goes from like you're winning to you're losing because the plane is alive and it spammed 700,000 what's the word? What's those troops called?
Cannons, EMPs,
Not the cannons, the ones that
snipers.
no, the ones that they generate, the plane
The
generates.
golems. The
Golems, right?
golems.
Oh,
So
golems.
so
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
plane survives, golem spam, and you go from winning a battle like it's like down to 10% to like the enemy wins or vice versa. Right. So planes, it does seem like it makes a huge difference especially that gold tier. Like if one side has it and the other side has a purple, and it seems like with everything else.
It even makes a bigger difference against mid range. I don't know if you guys fighting a lot of these mid range, big Chinese nations or what have you, but in those specific elite war scenarios that you're describing, Lumberg, it's the exact same way, man. With the mid range cities, man, those things, those rockets, or whatever the mid range guys are using, man, they're just getting disrupted, man. They can't launch skills, and as you just described, those golems come in there, man, just rake them back. So yeah, it's a huge advantage, man. I'll tell you from having a max gold plane for the most part, that it is very rare. If I'm in that battle, that we lose, and and it's ridiculous. I mean, even like I think it's like tier 4 gold or something like that, where you get the chance to make the additional laser pulse or whatever the hell that is. Might be T2. Yeah, no, it's tier 2 gold, and that gives you a whole nother chance to fire another laser and kill something else off, whatever that may be, somebody's zombies. Or I mean, it's just such a huge advantage, specifically if you have all those golems continuing to replenish your front line. It's nuts, man. It really is.
Well, and I think LG too, like you've got the gold plane skills, so those are going, and everybody else's plane is pumping up your plane's HP attack. Like your plane gets beefier for every person that enters, and they don't need to have gold for your gold to plane to just
100%.
be
As long as I'm starting the
spamming.
battle.
Yep.
So I got to be the first one in there type conversation, which I usually am, specifically in Elite Wars for that reason. But even team attacks and such, man, it's the same exact thing. Because even long range cities, man, a lot of these guys, they got a shit ton of rockets in there for the exact reason we all know. So it's nice to be able to silence those things down and really not have to worry about them.
Before we continue, I don't want to get off track. There's some questions. Energetic asks, T4 purple is the extra attack for all troops? Yes or no?
No, tier 4 purple is another percentage chance to apply the disruptor. So long story short is T1 unlocks tier 1 purple. The first purple tier, it just unlocks the skill, right? The second tier purple, it gives you more of a percentage chance. I think it's like up to whatever 35 or something along those lines to trigger that skill. And the same with tier 4, it allows more of a percentage chance for I think like another laser or something along those lines. For again for more of a your goal is the most percentage chance possible to get the disruptor onto something. That is the goal. In this thing.
All right, Energetic says
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, and purple 2.0 also gives you another source of disruption. It means your main laser also has a chance to disrupt. So by the time you hit gold 4, that LG's talking about, you've got the disruptor cannon, the purple 4 to increase the percentage. Then you've got the purple 2.0, which gives you a chance of disruption on your like basic attack. And then the
Well, yeah,
gold
it's the
creates
three
that.
lasers that the gold shoots out. So it gives it one of those. It gives you a fourth laser, and so it goes from 3 lasers to 4 lasers. So that fourth laser is what gives you another chance to disrupt something.
Yeah, and I
Okay,
agree
we
with you.
have a.
You're trying to max chance of disruption.
All
Correct,
right, all
100%.
right. Thank you, guys. Another question from James. So I'm a C26 right now. I started on Nation 988. It seems decent. No whales here at all. Should I hold off on spending so much on the plane, but focus on my officers hardcore or just accrue while
I
I
mean,
go?
the real answer to that question is buy a city in 52 or 425 or something like that. That's the real answer. Save yourself a lot of time and money, and know that you're going to a nation that likes to fight. Right? That's the real answer. Right? And I'm sure a
No,
majority of the people here on this
I
stream
mean,
will agree with me. So
let's go the normal way. Let's do the normal way. Let's say he does not want to leave his nation. Let's say he wants to start his own city. He wants
Officers and
to start from
Titans.
the bottom up.
You know, I'm an officer and Titans guy. You know, I think I was one of the first guys to really, go absolutely ham on the Titans. Outside of Ram, and yeah, it's been pretty good for me. But I'm an officer guy, and like Lumberg said, when I kind of joined the stream earlier, he was pretty much ramming home to you. Spend money on places where it can't be taken away. Your troops can be taken away. Your heals and your speed will be used, stupidly more than likely. So your best bet is to just put your money in places where it can't be taken away, like your officers, like your Titans, and your warplane type conversation. So whatever that really looks like, and where your spending habits are, can obviously change things. But long story short is that's where I went.
In my opinion, you should focus on your officers because to me, officers are the foundation of your stats. Like
Yeah, I
get
agree.
their sorry, their breakthrough skill, max their level, max their the skills like if you're a long range player, you would do long range attack. What's the other one? Expert long range attack and melee HP. Get that maxed, and then I think the six skill world, six skills. I think those are like a last thing you want to focus on, but having the basics, as in the skill, the breakthrough skill, the level of the officer, and all that stuff. I think that should be, you should have that max, not max, but
So what
leveled
what are
up.
there? What's the first war officer breakthrough skill you're opening, Nikki, in a new world?
Well,
Which one?
back then, before Titans, before Planes, before Drill Masters, back then it was your Tifa, your Sales, and your Alexandria. Right, guys?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think Tifa usually comes pretty quickly, just like organically. I feel like you get more frags, than anybody. Um, but my opinion is in today's day and age, unless it comes organically, if you're spending money, my opinion is you should get Eon first or Aeon, however you fucking say it. Sorry if I curse. It's one of the things that is the biggest for a lot of these events these days. Zeus. Zeus is my next go-to with the precise shot. I think that's a great skill as well. Some of these officers, I never even used, did Alex's BT for a while. So I was never an Alex guy just because I never really got attacked much. So don't take my way. It's probably not smart. Um, But yeah, I think that all those BT skills and waiting to at least open the BT skills for the main war officers before you start really doing anything in the 6 star. It's all great advice. So the warplanes and the Titans out, like my opinion is you should at least be taking some focus in those in those places to at least keep them where some of the other guys are, maybe top 20 or something like that if you can. 'Cause in a new nation, I feel like it's pretty easy to keep up. Some of these, 900 guys, 1,000 guys, easier to keep up without, a bunch of, spending in the beginning. Obviously the whales will jump themselves out of the bushes, and they'll part the way pretty quickly, or you don't, but everybody pretty much grows for the most part, organically, along the lines of each other in the beginning. So try to keep yourself in that top 25 range of things, and you know go from there. The biggest thing is try to get the like-minded players together, whatever that looks like. Farmers, warriors, whatever. Want to be able to get the like-minded players together. Just like Lumberg's little, 96 defense, in global over there, right? That's what it's about. And then I challenged the fuckers in Elite War later because they got 5 people in their alliance, but I know they're gonna have 100 in.
I'm sorry, my headphones died. Give me 1 second.
It's funny you mentioned that, Legion God. We had an elite war. I think it was with 157 Zip. I think we had three people that could attend because we moved people around for global.
Yeah. I was like, get him now. And then
Yep.
then I saw the date, and I was like, fuck, it's gonna be a week. They're gonna have like 100 people in there.
We
No,
did the same thing to 273.
Fuckers, man, too funny.
That's a good idea. I'll
Hello, can you hear
declare
me?
on TSK 2 weeks from now.
hey,
Yeah,
now.
when you know they're messing around with for global, man, it's a great time to pounce. You know, if you want to mess somebody up or fuck with them, you know.
All right, we have some questions, guys. So Ahmed, I think that's how you say his name. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I have a question. The Warplane stats actually work, like mid or long range?
They work, but they're not going to show up on battle reports, right?
You mean the like green troop HP, troop attack
Yeah,
number
like stuff
increases,
like
not the percentage ones? I think they show up towards the bottom, maybe. Oh no, those don't. You're right.
Are you talking about the buffs? What are you? I'm sorry.
Not the blue one that increases the attack percentage. It's like the green ones that say like increase HP by a certain number. I think you're right. I don't think that shows up on the battle report. It's also not clear to me how much of a difference they make.
Are you referring to the plane skill?
Um,
Yeah, like
Ahmed, if you wanna clarify your question, you may, please.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things you're definitely, you know, from my experience anyway, especially with the plane skills, you're not picking up everything in the report. I personally think with the plane itself and all the disruptors and the percents and all that stuff, they really took away our ability to track, you know, exactly what things do. You know, with all these random percentages and things like that, there's really no more spreadsheets you can throw on this thing, especially when it comes to the plane, in my opinion. Now, like the officers and stuff like that, it's pretty easy to track, but the planes is just really not. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of things missing on that, you know, on a theoretical report.
I hope that answered your question, Ahmed. Let's see. Baxter from 269. And my city was hacked. Do you know about that, Polo?
next. I'm joking. Yeah, I know about that. What does he want?
Baxter, what do you want? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres? All right.
Yeah, it's a
So
shame.
we're
City should be stolen.
we're I feel like we went so off track. I need to change the name to this podcast to we talk about everything else except your journey to get to T13. Let's talk about the plane. Oh jeez. But it's okay. It's okay. We're here to help. We're here to answer questions. You know, the more it's better to be helpful, right? It's good to, no, sorry. It's good to be helpful. That's what I'm trying to say.
I just clicked garage for
Uh,
C40 and I want to blow my brains out because I looked how much uranium it is for C41 garage and it just all sucks.
Yeah. Boogie was ready. He was ready to upgrade all the way.
Well, I'm just gonna say F Boogie and his millions and millions of uranium that he had stacked in his bags. But yeah, man, nobody I'd rather see have it than him. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I just wish he was the first. It sucks that they didn't update us at reset. We got the update 3 hours later.
Yeah, I got it about the same time you guys did. I remember.
Yeah. Like I guess back to the slideshow. T13 cannons and tanks. That's how much you need for uranium, and that's how much you need on resources. And these are the things you need to upgrade. As again, skip T12 lasers, go straight to T13 cannons and tanks. save the uranium, go straight to that. The end.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming up now, I was literally just talking about this in Alliance chat the other day. It's like, man, like if you were a C30.
You cut off lead god. What happened? Lead god. I think we lost him. Did
While
his internet die?
while he comes back, Nikki, so the skipping snipers and lasers, it really does make sense. It is going to be a testament of patience, because if you're not buying a bunch of uranium packs, that's a long time with no new troop types, right? So basically, from shredders to cannons, good lord, it's like if you buy the monthly pack, it's almost what, 2 years?
Possibly, if you're
Yep.
a non-spender, then probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I think this like let's the smart way. It's better to be
Oh,
smart
without a
than
doubt, without a doubt.
wasting it on what, than wasting it on other things. If you're an active player, but you feel like, oh my God, I'm so behind, I need to, hurry up and upgrade and get these T13 troops. No, don't think like that. Don't think that way. A player that a team, first of all, be in a good team, being in a team. If you're in a good team, be a player that is very active, that helps the team and participate on the events the team focus on. Example, Void and Elite War or Frenzy or Global Conquest, whatever your team focus on. If you have your T11 tanks and your T11 cannons, you're still player that can be used. You can still join the attacks. You don't need to push yourself to get to T13 or T12. You can still do as much, you can still do, you can still do damage, or you still can do something for the team. Like for like honestly, for example, I am still shocked when I went to 269 for their void. I went to 269, I was a C35. My long range was what was it, Polo? Like 800 or 900? And honestly, I did not think I would rank high because obviously I am paired with people that are in the 1000s, T12 shredders, T12 lasers, and whatnot. And I'm just a little C35 with my T11 tanks and my T11 cannons and my blue Titans. But
All you
hey,
gotta do is be active, baby girl. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
All you gotta
I
do is
was
be
active.
active.
I was active. I joined the attacks. I made it first. I remember I made it first to the first attack, and I beat Polo. He did not get any kills. Right, Polo? Remember that? That I got all the kills. You didn't get nothing.
Did I join in the last few seconds?
You joined very late. I was the first one. Um, but after that void, you guys will see once I post the video that I ranked. I think it was top 10 in void and top 11 in commander, and I was just a C35. So in the end, just be active. Be active, play the events, help your team, be a team player. That's all that matters. All this other stuff is just extra.
I think
So yeah,
to put a finer
Big Bird.
point on skipping the T12 snipers, most C36, C37 long range players are using uranium cannons in player v player battles. T12 snipers are useless for that. I mean, you include a little bit of them as filler, but a lot of the 36, 37s I know, they're heavy on the T11 cannons, so you're not really giving up that much by skipping the camp. I'm
Everyone just needs to
willing
make a
to
decision.
believe.
Are you going from 38? Are you going to 38? Or are you going to 40? That's it. If you're going to 38, then you got to get the EMPs and just hang out. If you're going to 40, then you can skip all that stuff. Skip the snipers, skip the EMPs, all that.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but even if you reach C38, still skip the EMPs. Just get your just go straight to T13.
I mean, that
Because
depends,
lasers,
because
lasers are not that good. They're not, to me, they're not that good. Right now that the T13 is out, I don't, lasers are not worth it, in my opinion.
they're only worth it for the people that are in, like, like your nation, for instance, right down in 52, that are essentially free players, been playing the game for 5 years. These guys need it. These guys are going to spend a lot less money to get there than they will to get T13 cannons, for conversation's sake. Now, depending on which nation you're from and how old you are and stuff like that, and obviously your spend rate, a lot of people aren't going to ever see C40, with all due respect, unless they play this game for 10 years or something ridiculous. So, like, at the end of the day, it's all about what you're trying to spend. So, again, like, trying to save some, newer guys, because there's a lot of noob nations here, in this, YouTube video, from what I'm hearing and seeing. So, man, guys, just take the advice. Trust me, you know. And for all the
I
guys
mean,
who
if
are
they
down to like
really want
269, all those guys that are C37 that don't spend much, they're gonna click C38 and they're gonna jump on EMPs for sure. Because going to C40 will just cost them another year or more, trying to save up that uranium.
well, yeah, they can, I mean, efficiently, if they skip the EMPs, they will save a lot of uranium, trust me, because right now most people's workshop is at C35,
Well, it
most
shouldn't
likely.
even be that. It should be C30 if you're long range.
Well, yeah, if you're long range, then C30, but we don't know. So let's say they're a C30. Yeah, you're right. So the cost from C30 to C38,
It's a
it's a lot.
it's a fuck ton for sure, but it's a lot less than going to C40, Nikki.
Would it be though? Would it be?
Yeah, with camps, or not camps, with workshops, and it's a lot. For me to go,
So that you can just focus on
for me to
factory.
go to tanks, being a C38, it was like 2.4 million, and I skipped the garage. It's a lot of uranium.
Hmm,
It's a lot of
it
effing
is.
uranium.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It is a lot of uranium. I
I
mean,
mean, it
in the
all
end, you
depends
just
on how
need
long
3 million.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for the player who's not dropping tens of thousands in this game. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. But if you can get it, man, fuck yeah, that's where it's at. Because T13 is nasty. I'm just letting you know, man. I just played global against 333, and we just waxed the fucking floor with them, and and they ain't nothing to play with, man. All due respect, to that clan over there, man. That T13 is slapping, and there is nothing that they could do about it. And I'm sure it's got a lot to do with all my playing skills that are fake. But long story short is it's definitely where it's at. I'm anxious to find the new C41 mid range guy who thinks he's something, so I could slap his ass around.
Hey, do you have a report? Just you against like X amount of troops?
Uh,
Can we see a report?
I'm sure I could whip up something. I know that we burned up, all of their C38s other than Kuro. So like Sansala and all
Do
those guys
you
got burnt up.
do you know how to screen record from Discord? I mean, sorry, screen share, screen share.
You're talking techie stuff that I got nothing to know about, honey. I'm
Damn,
sorry. Let me see if I
that
can find
sucks.
some reports while you guys are on here. But I mean, yeah, the T13 is just absolutely slapping. There's nothing like super crazy, because I remember looking through them. I take that back. There's definitely a few where I got like several million kills.
So lead God, it's hard to gauge whether the T13 is doing the work or your maxed out plane is doing the work. So did you notice a difference, from when you were using EMPs and your plane was max versus when you're using cannons, T13 cannons, and your plane is max?
So what I feel like I've noticed the most is really not necessarily the cannons or the backline at all. What I've noticed the most is the tanks are nasty and they don't like to die.
How
If
many tanks were you using?
I was sending 40,000. So
eight
equal to
8,000
20,000
tanks?
shredders.
No, 40,000 tanks.
40,000.
40,000.
40,000 tanks. So
My
200,000
fleet
units.
size is about 650,000 right now, so that's about 200,000, right? Something like that.
Okay, got it.
That
Well,
was gonna be
while
my
Lee
question.
God find while Lee God finds a report, we have another question from who? From James. James has a question, and he says the best question out there for because Halloween is around the corner. What is your favorite candy? Just throw it out there. I like
Snickers.
Twix.
Snickers.
Reese's
For
Pieces.
me, it's Twix. But Ferrero Rocher is my favorite. Down, hands down, is my favorite. If you give me a Ferrero Rocher, I want the pyramid, one that has a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, those are cool. I've seen those before.
I love those. What about you, Big Bird, Polo, and Lumberg? What is your favorite candy? Or are you guys too old for that?
I don't know
Silence.
that I have a favorite. I like anything sweet. I'll eat anything, you know. I take my kids Halloween candy. Yep.
That's
I do
just
the
the
same.
dad tax,
Exactly.
right? They gotta pay it.
Yeah, gotta pay the taxes, the candy taxes. And a lot of people say Himiko's is in the chat. Hi, Himiko. All right, let's see. Is there another question that I missed? Maybe. So James is saying Lead God is a monster. How does it feel to destroy everything? How do you feel, Lead God?
I mean, I'm not necessarily a destroyer unless it's like void or some shit like that. Pretty peaceful in my own nation, at least in 425 anyway.
Hmm.
Listen, James, it does not feel good to be on the other end of a lead god hit. Let's just put it that way.
Who's
Were
who
you
was
were
that?
you in
Big
the other
Bird.
end, Big Bird?
Yeah.
Did you experience?
I'm pretty sure that my team in 357 was the first to burn his ass.
Ooh.
Yeah, probably. We had some discussion of a no bubble frenzy, which we dropped, and then I was silly. But it was
You,
frenzy, thankfully. We got you
Yeah.
back though,
thankfully.
didn't we?
We sure did. Yeah, they beat us in void, man. That was that riled us up good, man. We haven't lost on anything since.
Wow.
It was hard
All
fought,
right.
and I was seconds from death. I was camped out in the corner, far corner of 357, doing like 30-minute speed hits because I was afraid of getting hit again.
Oh wow. Chris Alexander has a question. T11. Wait, what? T11 Titan Infantry versus T12 Shredder for frontline as a mid-range player. Thoughts?
As a mid-range player, I mean, your T12 shredders are definitely better. It's not even a question. 100% T12
Yeah,
shredder.
but I believe he's a C30. He's probably a C30. That's why he said T10 Shredder.
Oh,
So yeah,
I
most
thought you
likely
said
T10.
T12 shredder. My bad.
No, T10 Shredder. So if you're C30, then T10 Shredder.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, T11 infantry is best for defense, not for attacks. But sometimes if you're running low on frontline, you can like put some of them to like fill up your requirement to a front row to send.
Do you want me to?
Not always recommended, but
How do I do
yeah.
this? Should I just screen record it and send it in chat, and you can play it, or I gotta like do some weird
So, are you
screen
on your
share?
phone?
I am on my phone.
Okay, so if you're on your phone, if you go, let's see. Let me. Oh, I'm not. I can't see because I'm not on my phone. Uh,
Hold on, let me see if
okay.
I can
Is it an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone.
Okay, so if you can like swipe up in the Discord. You can in the voice chat in the Discord. If you swipe up, you'll see it'll say share screen.
I'm not seeing that. It's like
Polo, help me. How do
if
you know how to do it, Polo? Do you
if
remember?
I swipe up, it closes the app.
I have
No,
absolutely
you're
no idea.
swiping too hard.
But I'm in like the chat thing, so maybe I should get out of that.
No. Okay, so click the voice chat. Go to the voice chat.
Yeah, I'm in that, and I see everybody's like little box or whatever.
Okay, perfect. Now do a little gentle swipe up. You see like a menu coming up when you're trying to swipe up.
No.
Are you on iPhone?
Yeah.
Do a swipe down from the top right.
Yeah.
Have like those little buttons, those little tool things, like I guess like calculator. There should be one for screen record, I would think.
Oh yeah, no, I can screen record on my side of things. I think she's talking about screen share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, screen sharing in the Discord.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta pay attention. I just don't pay attention.
Lead guy, I'm going to send you pictures just in the chat, and you'll be able to figure it out. So
Yeah, go. All right,
let
let
me send you a
me put
picture.
this.
So in the chat, if you look, there's if you just click on your screen, there's that little bar. There's like a call button, mute button, whatever. And then if you just gently tap it, grab it up, and pull it up, you'll see the menu, and then there's a share your screen button.
You see that, Lee God? Oh, you got it. All right, give me 1 second. 1 second before you start. Let me show it on my side. 1 second, because people on the YouTube cannot see. Is this it? Oh, is this? This is not it. Discord. 1 second, lead God. There we go. We got it. All right, let
Lead God,
me
you're on mute.
fix. Ooh, why does it look like that? Hold on. I need to fix the resolution of this. Hold on. You're still on mute, Lee God. There we go. There we go. Now everybody can see it. You're still muted. Unmute yourself. There you go.
All right, I gotta
Let me.
attempt to find this report now since the game wanted to close because it sucks. Sorry.
Everybody can see that in the chat. Yes or no, please. Thank you.
And Lead God, everything on your phone is visible. So when you get out of the game, be careful.
Yeah, I
Yes.
already. That's why I quick clicked. nothing really too much to hide, but
Thank you,
whatever.
Susan.
Just give me your credit card later.
Yeah, right. There was a sick one that had the T13 in it. I gotta find it. It's here. I had like 2 million kills or something stupid, so I think this is it.
All right, to answer Abhen real quick, he says T10 shredders or T11 axes. What's the best? If you're a C30 or C33, you will use T10 shredder. Until you're C34, use T11 tanks
Yeah.
for frontline. Axemen, infantry, they are only good for defense. Only for defense. For attacks, use shredder or tanks. I hope that clarifies.
So,
Does it look a little blurry?
can you guys see this or
Yeah,
what?
probably does.
Yes.
Let me make it bigger. Hold on. Sorry. 1 second. I'm trying to expand it. All right, there we go. Should be big enough. So 2 versus 15. Who are the two people?
Me and one of my buddies, Tango C37, pretty strong guy. He's a melee player. He's actually grown about 25% in the last 24 hours. He just shared his stuff like an hour ago. But anywho, yeah, he came a little late. I think if I remember correctly, but there's definitely a couple of nice hitters in here. I don't know if Mecha G was in this one. Pretty sure he wasn't because I got all those kills. Yeah, this isn't Mecha. This is a different guy, but he's also strong. But long story short is just watch the shredders, or not the shredders, the tanks. That's kind of my opinion anyway. Yeah, Tango comes late on this one when I'm about to start to lose the front line a little bit. And he just adds the shredders in there, so they start to take all the hits away from me, and they just get smoked. There's really nothing much else to say there.
All I see is zombies, tanks, and cannons, and then
If you look over here,
titans and
his
planes.
shredders are rolling. He's still got shredders rolling.
Ooh.
Those are Tango's shredders, though, not mine.
You're actually beating them. Wow.
Well, if you can see, what helped was his cannons. He took out the queen early, and it just became a mess after that. So the tanks are definitely hitting the Titans a lot quicker too.
Yeah, I mean, there was many. There was many. This was a great defense. Those guys got smoked on that one, man. I won't show that one because it shows it was a really bad TA of theirs.
Yeah.
Um, but I think yeah, this is what's left of my tanks. Cause I wasn't healing them over and over. I just said F that and started sending shredders because I got so many of them. But here's another similar one. Where the tanks just don't die. And I don't have Aeon, however you say it. I don't have that on either. I don't use that till round 3. I believe this is round 1.
So Geraldo has a question for you, Lead God. He's asking, Lead God, for you, who is the strongest player in all AOO? Actually, I guess he's trying to say, do you think you are the strongest player in all AOO?
I mean, I'm not here to, debate all that stuff. I am gonna attempt to end this broadcast thing though. Um,
You can.
so I just haven't found anybody to beat me. Let me put it that way. And so on today's date, yeah, I probably think I'm probably the strongest that I'm aware of. I know I haven't personally fought Great One yet. I think he's probably like my closest match. But I happen to know that I'm a little ahead of him on the plane, and you know, and that's just really about it. So the rest is just awkward, officer stats. But everybody else, man, I've walked over. Without even thinking about it.
Do you think you're stronger than the guy from 693? They call him Chinese Ronaldo. You think you're stronger than him?
Yeah, I think so. I think, just based off of fleet size, merit, all the things that I have, above him, that, yeah, I do. I don't think, I'm, 250 nations ahead of him, so I find it hard to believe that somebody, close to the 700s can come close to me. I just took, Mr. Morby, what's that, right? He's another big one that thought he was something and mop the floor with him. So no, I don't think that there's a lot of guys out there, but maybe that Chinese guy. I haven't fought him yet, but yeah,
Maybe one day.
maybe one
What are you
day.
talking about? League guy can't even burn me.
You're only 1,400. Lee God is probably like 1,600.
Nah, he can't even burn me.
For what?
If you were to hit
For
my city, it's a joke.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not in it to be the strongest in the game. Like if that were the case, I'd be the RAM of the global board and have all my face all over that, right? Like, no, I'm not in it for that. It's not necessarily why I'm here. So at the end of the day, I like my nation, I like people I play with, and I like to fucking ruin people's Sundays. That's really why I like to play.
I
That's
can't
the
even.
fun part.
I can't even be his sub city. That's freaking embarrassing.
Do you want to see what I did to somebody earlier today and with my sub city?
Sure.
In the mines or where?
Nah, in nation, man. Fucked
Oh,
them up, man. Sent them home packing. Sent them home
in
packing.
four
You may.
in four
I
twenty five or 357.
357.
I saw a post on Facebook the earlier day, something about you guys like kicked a player out and you guys zero him out, like an Asian kid or Asian guy.
Oh man, yeah, whatever. Those are my trolls, just stirring the pot. But yeah, man, if you hang out in my alliance for more than 7 days without coming in, and there's events and shit going on, and you're asked to move, and we got trolls flying in, in their spots in my hive. Yeah, man, I'm gonna kick and burn them, dude. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
This guy was 5, 7 days offline, all my R4s, and I know what happened last week. We got trolls in our city, in our nation. There's about 5 or 7 of them. But last week, he this guy likes to send, full fleets to gold mines. Well, the trolls found all 5 of his gold mines and smoked his ass, right? So, he took major, major losses. And, again, right after this past global, we're moving people around, this, that, and the third. And he just leaves his spot open in the hive like a jackass. They fly a farm in, you know, it's over, man. You got to go. No use for you here.
Do you want to show us?
I didn't kill him. My team did.
Was it a
Love,
report? There's
love.
no battle?
That's on Facebook. They, my team, the trolls killed him. We just zeroed him. You know, we just took all his resources and all
Hmm.
that fun stuff. So, they know that the farmers of my nation, they frown upon that stuff. Because I definitely got some, some good farmer type, and I'm like 70% Japanese in 425. So, long story short is they have feelings for people like that. So, trying to just cause shit, tensions or whatever the case is, but everybody knows how I roll, and so just keep it for it, keep it the way it's supposed to be. That's all. And if you're 5 or 7 days offline, man, you ain't got no business here. You know.
Especially when you ask them to move out.
I mean, I'm not gonna even in the past week because we've been tightening up our hive because these guys are flying farms in and stuff like that, and he wouldn't move. Like all of my R4s told him to move, and he basically shunned them like he was better than. And it was like the day after he got basically zeroed in the gold mines. So I understand his frustrations, but look, man, like you got your bosses telling you to fucking move, like you do it. That's just all there is to it. And then the very next morning, he got attacked by Sin, and got killed again. So we're like, fuck that guy. He's dead. He's
Hmm.
just making us
For
look,
sure. That
just making us look
I
bad.
remember back in the day it was like that when you're trying to move your hive or make it more organized and then you have people are like, I don't want to move. Why would we I don't like
It's
dude, come
so
on.
stupid.
Just move.
Just do what the fuck you're
It is
told.
stupid.
Like, are you kidding me? Just do what the fuck you're told. Like, come on.
Like you're not better than anybody. Just follow the commander, just follow what we're saying. If you think you're better than us, the door's right there.
Yeah, and this
You
guy's
can
like,
leave.
whatever. He's a C-36. He was definitely, active prior to his, whatever departure or his, him being killed because it was just convenient. He got killed in the gold mines and he went 7 days offline. The guy was never 7 days offline, so he basically quit. You know, so that was on him. But the spit in the face is after we tell you to move after this, they secure his spot in the hive with a fucking farm. So now we got to burn this thing out or cannon it or whatever the hell we got to do to get it out of there. It's just a pain in the ass. So and we don't let our trolls grow. Our trolls are at hospital capacity. They have no RS, no resources, and sure shit not going to leave a C-36 out in the wild. That used to be a farmer more than likely from another nation. That had 4G of everything and all of the above, probably 600 million steel and all that fun stuff. So we're not going to let that happen. We're going to eat them. So,
Yep, you play no games.
so yeah. And at the end, and Lumberg, do not fucking request 425 for void.
You think Lumberg has the power to do that?
He sure as shit can. Kidding me? I know I can.
No, he
The
cannot.
fuck he can't. I know I can. So I know
Uh,
he can.
I I am I am a peasant, guys. I have no VIP. I
Trust me,
have
Lumberg, man. You got enough pull to say, listen, I want so and they're gonna say why, and you're gonna give them some stupid story, and they're gonna give it to you, bro. You know, and
uh,
that's just
Listen, Ligon, do you really believe that Lumberg requested 457 during the time of the conspiracy of of Lumberg talking about C40? Do you think he actually requested them? No.
no,
That
but
was Camel's
they're
job.
a shitty nation though. They were an easy void, right, Lumberg?
Well, in the beginning, we did not know they were that type of a nation, but we, you never know because there's it's a locked nation. At that time, we didn't know, right, Lumberg?
they look good on paper, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I
no, they
mean,
look great
On
on
paper,
paper.
yeah, they look good.
But listen, if you need to know anything about 457, all you gotta do is call Daddy Lead God because I'm their daddy, and they can't do nothing about it. I fucking make sure I wax them in everything. It's a known thing in Globe 5 that it is not allowed for a Chinese nation to win a global event. Period. End of conversation. It just doesn't happen.
Well,
Won't
from what I
happen.
remember, 285 beat them up, so
Yeah.
it was a fun
And
time. It was a good
I don't
time.
think they've won. They don't like to win voids for whatever reason, you know, because it's only
No, they only
it's
like
like
to eat
it's like
resources.
8 players. You know, that's really all it is. You know, it's about 8 or 10 players, and really only two that are active and want to fight the entire void. So you know, there's nothing to be scared of with that. You just got to make sure that your small guys are protecting their shit
Yeah.
because he
Anybody else in
he,
the chat
he
had any
hurts when he bites.
questions? If you have any questions, just shoot them. Sorry, Leapyard.
That steel guy, whatever the big monster guy from 457, he hurts when he bites, man. That's for sure. We the couple of events we've had a void with them, and you know, we've had every style of event with them, but the void was my favorite because we smoked like I don't know 4 of their 10 big cities. You know, I think
Was this during a void or
no,
a
yeah,
different
no,
event?
no. That was during the void. That was during the void. Millions of troops got lost in that void, and I remember too. I sat with no shield. I was about like 200 million or so BP at the time, and I sat with no shield, just literally eating this main alliance city with 500 million minerals in it. I ate it for like 4 hours straight to zero. Not one rain. Nobody did anything. Now, mind you, it was like during the time that they slept, but still, no, not one person did anything. And I ate this city. It was like a C-35 or a C-36 or something, and I ate it like 2,000 hits or something like that. It took to zero this city.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder when us, the older nations, will get a locked nation for void.
Well, I don't think they
That'll
had
be
lock.
interesting.
They didn't have lock nations until like the 400s, right? I feel like 457 was like the first one is when they launched the Chinese app. Or am I wrong?
I mean, they got merged by 9 other
Yeah,
nations, so
no,
Well, it
for
probably
can't be
sure,
a
not.
457
for
because
sure.
442 is a lock nation. So for sure, Globe
Well,
6 was the
well,
first globe
well.
that,
I'm
that
sorry.
got
So
lock
the
nation.
432 was the first nation, right? So because they were just a few whatever, a few nations away from 425. So 432, I remember meeting them for the first time in Chaos Land, and that's where that guy Steel is from, the big monster, guy, or the two big monsters, I should say. They're from 432. So I don't know of a nation prior to 432 that was a locked Chinese nation type convo. Now,
From Globe 6 is on. For like 429 is Mecha G, so that's the last nation in our Globe 5. So anything after that, there is lock nation. But before
got it,
that, there's no.
got it. Yeah, Globe 5 is what 349 to 429, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure it's 349 to 429.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's
what
my
it is now.
that's my motto this global season is you got to be an OG Globe 5 member to win this global. And unfortunately for 343 and 299, they're just not welcome, and that's just leave it at that.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
y'all can go back to your old globe.
Wait. 299. You got a problem with 299?
No, I don't got a problem with them. They're just not
No,
welcome in
I'm
a Globe
joking.
5
I'm
event.
joking. I hate 299.
I have a problem with
But come
them.
on.
I have a problem with the T4s.
Yeah, that's super gay, but hey, man, and, it's part of the game. You got to deal with it. Strategy. It makes you think, makes you work harder. So
oh my God, you sound like him. Stop.
almost applaud their leadership, if you will, because I personally believe that's what that is. I believe it's the farmers forced to, okay, if you want to stay here, you can't have high level troops, but you can have as many T4s as you fucking want. And some of them just took advantage of it. And now here they are, doing whatever it is that they're doing. So, at the end of the day, it's part of the game. It's now a new level of strategy that you have to conquer, especially for the true warriors that just like to run in and hit everything. You can't do that anymore. So long story short is you got to respect the leadership over there. My thing is
I think they take it a step further though. A lot of the fighters have second and third accounts where they only have T4s in there, and instead
yeah,
of
see,
fighting with their
I hate
mains,
that shit. That's fucking gay.
yeah,
So if you're a
fighting with their
warrior
mains.
and you got a sub
Lower
account,
down the
man,
cussing, please. You're gonna demonetize me.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Let me send you a tip.
Let me
Uh,
let me put you some soap in your mouth.
yeah, it's so bad. I hate sub accounts, man, for that regard. Why are you on a T4 city when you have a main city with big troops and likely 1,000+ LRA? Like what are you doing? Why are you on a T4 city? That's like the biggest pansy scheme I've ever heard of. You know.
Maybe they like being a pansy.
I mean, some people like that's fine. Like whatever. I respect everyone's kind of decisions there, but you know, like if you're a warrior and you have a main city, what do like I have a sub account for other reasons, diplomacy reasons, but man, I don't ever enter that thing in a war and try and go do something. No, what the heck? That just doesn't sound right, you know? What am I gonna do with that thing? What are you gonna do with your T4 city and your Titans? All you're gonna do is leak points. You know, me and Pool Rad were just talking about this in Barry's channel the other day. It's like, man, as soon as we see those cities, it's like all it takes is your big guy to come through and mow those things down. Let them heal up, especially in a void. They're not going to do it more than once. They're going to shield. You know, I would love for that 60 million BP T4 city to lower his shield and avoid against me. I would love that. I would laugh all the way to next Sunday, to the next void. And I would hope I get a second and third fleet in there too, and let all his buddies reign. And I'll leak a crap ton of points and I'll laugh all the way to the next void. You know? That guy getting Frenzy Master and Void Master is a joke. Like
Is that a 299 guy?
yeah, that's crazy to me, It's crazy. I almost feel like somebody fed him the points, like trolls or something of the opposing nations must have just fed him points because it's pretty easy to figure out that hey, that alliance over there is all T4. Just leave them alone. Just don't touch them. Don't even look over there. Don't share the city. Don't nothing. All those whatever they're called, they're all T4. Assume it. Unless you show me a scout with some higher stuff in it, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Because that's what they are. They're all alliance based, usually. That's what I've experienced anyway for these T4 fighters. Because I've fought 299 a couple times now, But a lot of these other nations are fighting with it too. I heard 524 likes to fight with T4.
I heard stories.
But whatever, yeah, whatever floats your boat, man. But look, 524 just lost their first void to 394 because what did they do? They fought with T4, and 394 is not a.
Wait, was that after fighting against Barry's Nation?
That was before. That's where they got the idea from.
Oh.
Dude,
You
I am
know.
like not looking forward to fighting 394 right now.
if you're fighting 394 and Void, man, be careful. I'm telling you, because they're fighting with T4, bro. Straight up.
I know
Especially
that's
when
why.
they
Well, Animal, I was talking to
Animal's
Animal,
cool.
and he's like, "Oh, your wish." No, no, yeah, yeah. But I was like, "Oh, your wish came through. Like now we're gonna have fight against each other." I'm like, "Bro, I've been hearing you guys are using T4, so it's like not worth it."
It's a slap in the face.
Wait, so 394 defeated 524 by playing with
Yeah,
T4?
Yeah, by a
yeah.
bunch too. It
So
wasn't like
they, huh. Did they get ahead in like phase 1 through 4 and just
no, they were down from my understanding like 800 million, and they fought with T4 to win by over $1 billion or something like
like
that.
the whole nation?
The whole nation, main alliances, everybody fought with T4.
That is just
Numbers like
that is just that is
like
just
like like
nasty. I mean,
like literal
wow.
traps, with 60 guys training with T4.
That's just that's not a win. That's just wrong.
Well, guys, we do have Himiko here, and she's from 299. Say hi, Himiko.
Hello. I'm
See,
here in
Hello,
the chat,
Himiko.
and I mean, I could tell Lead God hasn't seen my TikTok, so um, I'm like, I do not fight with T4s. I'm from 299, and I'm one of the people that I'm like against the T4 thing. Like,
You're
I
not
hate it.
original 299. You were from another nation.
330.
You
she's
right, right.
330.
Yeah, we just
yeah,
merged with 299, and I was like in shock when I seen
but it
this. I was
works
like,
though,
what?
right? Like you can
It
only hate
does.
on it
It
so
does.
much.
It does. It definitely it does, because from what I read in my nation chat, they're upset that they're getting called out on, so they're not doing it as much. And
Oh
Really
wow.
they're
now?
actually blaming some of our losses due to they're not using T4s. But to me personally, and I love like I've gotten to know like the players, like the big players, and it's like I just feel like right now all they want to do is win global because they were so close last year. And I mean apparently that's the reason why, but
So
I
so
still
Himiko, I'm very curious. Like how much like how many fleets of T4 do people build? How did the alliances do this? Like this is
this
a
is what
new
happens.
level.
If your shield falls during frenzy or void, or you leak out points by you like getting trapped in a mine, or you know what I mean, like if you fucked up during void or frenzy and you leak out points for a nation, then you will get either zeroed afterwards or sent to, you have to delete all your troops and make them all T4 and go to a T4 alliance. That's what they do.
I
Yeah,
They'll
see.
sounds
they
about
like
right.
kind of like you only go there for a few, like depending how much like you either don't participate or you don't, like if you're just dead weight, they'll do that to you. Like that's pretty much what it is. And
Yeah,
then
like
if
if
it's
you
a
want
good
to continue
player,
to
and like
play
you,
here, you can only play here with T4 type conversation.
yeah, and then like if you're a good player but you accidentally like just one time, then you're on a probation thing, so you're there for a couple months, or and then they'll bring you back in.
But they'll let you
Damn, it's like
Man,
straight up
but
prison.
they'll let you
Yeah,
keep your
man, I
troops.
wish they would do that.
they don't. That's the reason why there's so much tension. When we got there, there's already
Hell
tension,
no.
and
I will
why
go
our
rogue and join
alliance is
everybody.
called Fighter for Freedom, because it's like it's kind of like they were being pressed like that. That's what we have to do there. But I'm nobody. We are merged into that nation, so and then 330. If you guys ever fought 330, or you guys heard of 330, we're a very small nation. Like there was only very few active players left. Um,
Yeah, but you guys
y'all
are like
came,
one nice
when y'all
alliance
came,
though, right?
like
330 had like one good alliance.
yes, which was NLS. That was it.
Yeah.
Like it was just us. And
Yeah, I
then
never
Yeah, I
played you
that's the
remember
guys,
reason
that.
we
but
had
I've
such a
heard.
good winning streak. We had a winning streak. We had our elite worst one. Like we were just like focused on, even though it was a small group, it was like we're growing, like how Nikki mentioned earlier. You don't have to be a monster. We had two monsters, like 238s, but everybody else would join in the attacks to help them. Like,
Yeah, that's what it's about. I was
and I
saying that
think
earlier. It's about activity.
our 238s in our nation, which are now 39s going 40, like they were from nation 30, so they were
Nice.
playing with yeah, with no name needed. So they already had experience. They have experience. Like they know what they're doing. They're actually in Barry's channel. I think one of them was Moose, with 17. He's like he was like our R5 pretty much. Like he's so knowledgeable.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
the top alliance in 299. You know, I know it's for the most part ran by women over there. Believe it's even
yeah,
American women,
yes,
and they've been super
and
cool and
yeah,
obviously
they're amazing
respectful.
too.
They know
It's
what
just
their deal is,
the
but
thing
I
is that
feel
we
like
have to, yeah, they have
they
this
want it
strict
their
rule
way
about
and
it.
their way only, and I got that off rip. And like, let's put it this way: in the prelims, they had it was a great little pairing. We had 425, we had 357, 299, and some other random idiot stick. I forget who it was. Um but the leadership of 299 reached out to the leadership in 357, because it's females as well in 357, Piper and Mel, and they were trying to make a deal and stuff like that to assure them getting top four, because they wanted to take the easy road, for conversation's sake, because they didn't want to meet 343 or 379, in the semis type conversation. So they were very, very adamant about being in the top four for whatever reason,
The
and
crazy, I
they were trying
believe
to make a deal with
79
us, and I was just like, I don't think you guys understand. It doesn't work like that, you know?
yeah. And then crazy part is that and I like as soon as I seen it, I'm like 379 made it to finals and they won first place in semifinals. So now we're gonna face them for finals for global.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm
along
saying.
with
We're
425
global.
slapping that ass.
Yeah, 375. I mean 379. It's one we're gonna be watching. Like they're the ones we're watching out for because they beat us last boy by like a pair, but literally
No,
by
you
two.
guys won the rounds. I remember it was in the prelims you guys fought. Overall, you guys won, but but they were right there with you.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, just remember,
That's
Glow
so
5's gonna
good.
support him. 425 can't win this global since we're not merged just yet. But we're gonna make sure that 299 is not gonna be victorious.
I feel it. When I seen it, I was like, oh, I was like, damn, it's gonna be a tough one.
So you can let the ladies know, let Miss Inquisitor and Kaya or whatever her name is, just let them know.
Yeah,
Like fourth.
Do they use T4 in global?
no, no, no,
No, they
no.
definitely don't.
But they're very. That's all I can say is just they're very like global conquest focused
I
right now.
mean,
So that's what they want.
I've essentially heard that they think this is their only time that they can win. Fresh after merger and stuff like that, which I tend to agree. It's the best time, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that regardless of the win or not, I think it'll be the end of the what's her name, Kaya, whatever her name
Yeah.
is. I think she's going to be leaving the game shortly thereafter.
Yeah, because that's all she wants, really. And I mean, I'm really like I'm not a big huge spender, but we're all gonna give it our best. For us, for the 330 players that merged to 299, um, just making it to finals is extremely
Yeah,
like
super cool.
great for us, like super cool, because we
Yeah, for
always just make
sure.
it to semifinals and then that's it. So for us, it's like this is even a win for us already, but I know that they want the big trophy. So, but as soon as I seen 379, I'm like, oh. So we'll see. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Give it our best.
I like it.
Yep.
So who is 299 against with in Final?
We have 379. We have, I believe it's 425. No, 429. Hold on, let me double check that.
No, it's so basically 299, 343, 425, and 379.
Mm-hmm. Let me double check.
Wow.
Confirm it. It's yeah. So it's gonna be. But once I seen that 37, I mean, I feel like it's already for voids was already like a thing. I think our nation chats were already like having that tension between
Well,
um
didn't 379 just beat you guys in void too,
yes,
right?
that's what I said. Uh-huh. Correct.
Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
thought.
They beat us very. It was a very very close one, but it was only us fighting. And then I think that's what's going. That was the little tension that was going on, is because it was only San, which is where we're the second alliance. I'm not in the main alliance. So we were fighting for voids, like because that's what 330's been always doing. We can't sit down, like we just can't, like we can't keep us from not fighting. So we
Yeah,
were
they love to shield on Sunday
fighting.
and put all the pressure
Yeah,
on Kaya.
they didn't really fought, and then I think they were calling them out. It was just like little thing going on in the nation chat.
Yeah,
So
drama.
yeah, and I think their response was like, "We're just go conquest focused. Like we want to win it." But to see 379 win first place in semifinals, and then we're gonna face them in finals, is like that's already saying a lot. That's
Yeah,
already
but
saying.
I mean, also trying to understand that at least you guys had you had to, fight somebody to get, there. 379, they didn't really fight anybody in the semis. I mean, they fought 357, which is my other nation, but we're not prepared, to fight a nation like that. We don't have two big alliances, blah, blah, blah. Pound for pound, if we had everybody together, sure, we might be able to beat one of their alliances, but we don't have the numbers like they do. So they had an easy road, to get max points and not
Yeah,
max
they got
points,
max
but
points.
you know,
They got
did,
over like they got 121K.
yeah. So
Um,
While
they
you
had an
guys
easy
talk, I'll
road to
be
that.
editing.
yeah. So it's 343, 379, and 425 they were facing.
Yeah,
Um,
343 I feel like had the hardest battle to get in there along with 425.
yeah,
299 had a pretty easy semi too, if I remember correctly. But long story short is yeah, it'll be a good semi because don't count 343 out, man. They got some bangers over there,
exactly.
and so they're gonna definitely be a problem.
I'm like studying everybody right now, so it's like I'm learning, and then that's what I'm saying. I learn who to like. As soon as they see them port next to me, I'm like, "What? Caroline disappear," or I already have my fleets like start sending them out. And like I don't want to get burned. I mean, I get burned
Yeah,
regardless. But I
Mm.
don't want to get burned
there's
with
gonna be a
armor.
lot of burning going on in that global, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
I get burned regardless, but I mean all my reports where I get burned, it's always zeros. Like you're gonna always, and then people reinforce me and I'm like, they're the ones like you're gonna see the report, it's like Caroline zeros and then and then it'll be the rest, like they're the ones giving out the points. I'm like, don't ever reinforce my city. That's one thing that I have, like 299 I have to teach the new people that I like play with now. I'm like, do not ever reinforce my city because I'm never gonna have army in it. Like it's just
You should just
unless you
have your
catch my
monsters
fleet
hide in
leaving it.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
unless
have your monsters hide in there.
the only time that I've gotten like that is because the damn game kicks me out when my fleet's returning or my bubble doesn't get on and the kick like just stupid little glitches that I'm like sometimes I take like even now I'm like as soon as the fleet leaves that city I'm like bubble up because if the game kicks me out by the time my fleet gets in like I already have it out. It's not because this game kicks you out like too much.
Oh my god, it's been so bad lately too.
Yeah. So that's why now it's been so
Mm.
badly that I'm like, as soon as the fleet's leaving that city, I'm like, bubble.
And I feel like it
'Cause-
takes a lot longer to log in now too, like an
yeah,
extra
that's why.
three or
Yes,
By
it
four
the time
does.
seconds.
it lets you back in and it's saying loading, you come back in, your fleet's already in, you're like, so also that's another thing. I'm like, sometimes, but then it's hard for people that don't spend. Like for me, it's easy, kind of easy because I do spend on like speeds, but I get back from the wherever we're gonna attack. I don't like porting next to it. I don't unless I was a big ass player, then yeah. But I mean, even big players could get burned. So
They
uh,
do, they do.
yeah,
The bigger they are, the
that's
harder they
sometimes like
fall is
to
what I
do.
hear.
We like to go like
Hmm.
challenge ourselves, and we're like, we see a city. Well, now it's harder because now city 40s and 39s, but when we see city 38s, now we could eat city 38s. No, we're gonna try getting city 39s, 40s, not 41s yet.
Yeah, we got a nice little locked Chinese nation for this void. I'm excited to hopefully slap up a couple. We got what 603, I think it is.
Sick. I seen your city in action with when Barry had it.
I just had him
Yeah.
603.
Oh,
Oh, you
We were
did?
down 2 bit. Yeah, we were down 2 billions in Boyd, and then we came back and beat him by 2.5.
Did were you able to, were the big players like unshielded? Can you kill them?
Yeah, if you attack
I
them, you
want to
can.
kill the big one. The big one's like 200 or so. If I catch him with his titans out tied up, I can smoke that fucker. Sorry, I said it again. I can smoke that
Yeah, they
guy.
do attack.
If he attacks, all right, cool. Does he come? Did he come to your nation? Because I'll
Yeah,
wait
they
for
all
him.
came.
They all came. Oh yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah, they
hunt
all
on them
came.
then. We're gonna get some good reports this void because there's like 4 or 5 of them that are above 100 million. I bet we get 2 or 3 of them.
Sounds
Yeah.
fun.
So what they do is they hit a farm and then they reinforce that city. They'll hit an empty farm.
They'll hit an empty farm and what? Say that again.
So like a city that doesn't have any troops in it will continue to hit a city.
And wait for you to attack, and they'll reinforce it.
I've
We're
gotten caught like that. Like they keep sending their fleet into my city until my fleet arrived. But that was like when I first started, like a long time ago. I think there's a video on TikTok about it.
Yeah, so what I was saying is like basically they'll attack a city, let the troops come back, let you hit it, and then they all rain it. And then that's how they try to get their points, like on a defensive rain.
Oh, we'll eat that alive. I mean, no. So they don't like to lose troops. I guess they don't like to attack
Y-
them. They just like to rain.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty
never mind.
much.
Well,
Never
that's
mind.
no
I thought it
fun.
was the other way. I'm like,
They
no,
just
I
want
gotta
us to
attack
lose
you.
troops, and they lose points, and they don't care, and they think they're winning because we lose troops.
Yeah.
Sounds bunch of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Gotta
I thought it was
understand
the
us
other
big
way. I
boys
thought
don't
it
care
was.
about losing troops. You
I
know,
thought.
you
Yeah.
can ask a couple of the nations about that. You know, if we need points, man, all we do is hit your big cities and retreat. You know, and we come up on points every time. You know, or we hit your traps and just hit retreat. Let all your stupid T10 and T11, come hit my T13 and give me all these free points, and I'll lose 60 grand or something like that. And but I'm coming up on like I don't know 60 million points.
Well, I know for sure this void Polo's very happy. You got your big break, Polo, for 269.
Who you guys got 269?
229. I'm happy, and we're not fighting something real hard this time.
Yeah, I feel like the 603 is going to be kind of a breeze, and in 357 we got 426, and I happen to know they're a pretty easy nation as well. So I feel like we kind of
Wait,
got
where
like
do
a
you get
weekend off.
Lumberg? Lumberg still there?
Yeah, I'm here. We have 333.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
easy
They
peasy.
got plenty of leaky cities over there. You know.
No,
we got.
I think they're in civil war, so there's not going to be many targets.
Is that the nation with like KTA and
Yes.
They weren't in civil war. We just had them in void last month or maybe 2 months ago. They weren't. It was fresh after merger though. So, but we smoked them. I got like 4 billion points that void.
They have two ongoing battles, like alliance. Like 4 of the alliances are in war. So yeah, it's going to be pretty well shielded, but it should, it's void
Is
isn't. We haven't
KTA
had a good
fighting
void.
them? Because their alliance BP's like 5 billion or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope they fight. I think they're going to be fighting. So
Yeah, Kuro is about 200 and some odd million or some odd these days, and he definitely will drop a shield. Maybe not against you guys because he's not stupid, but he will drop a shield, man. He likes to float around with no shield, so you guys can definitely burn him with 100 players. You know.
we just want to do TAs. We have no more speeds left after the semifinals. So I'm just going to request like, hey, let's just do it like a TA exchange.
Let us open our boxes and shield up.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they were not hard to beat. That's for sure. I don't know if they were in Civil War at that juncture. I know it was the first void after merger, and it was our first void after merger. So, um, yeah, they definitely had the numbers on us, but we have the fighters, and they got me though. They attacked me. They got me for like 25 or 30 million BP overall. Well, no, the whole void I lost that. In the attack, I got like 15 or 20. Um, but yeah, they lost by a lot, so it didn't matter.
Did they attack you? That's impressive.
Yeah, they attacked me with like 45. I was like 150 or 135 million at the time, something like that. I got a good amount of rain. And yeah, they got smoked point wise. Yeah, I lost some front line. I lost like a million or so troops. And yeah, they got annihilated in points. If I remember correctly, it was like 168 million to like my 45 or something like that. And it
Yeah,
was
but
all
hats off
all
for having the bravery to attack, because that doesn't happen very often, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a last ditch effort because we had finally pulled ahead, in the grant because we were down like 2 billion going into Sunday because they are a lot of members there. 357 was super super slim, when it got merged, to say the least. So, long story short is they had a lot more numbers than we did, and we finally pulled ahead. The moment Void happened, an off-brand alliance flew to 357 with like three big cities, like all C-37s with like 75 plus million, and again off-brand alliances, so they couldn't get rain or anything like that. I killed them all by myself, and had like 1,000,000,004 points like in the first 10 minutes of Void. And long story short is we got a lead, and they came, man. Yeah, they came to try to get it back, but they lost, and that was the tipping point for them to basically give up at that juncture. I feel like because the points put us ahead by like 2.5 billion or something like that after my attack with them, or them attacking me, I should say.
Wow.
So yeah,
Well then,
big props for definitely trying, man. And I gave him the props for trying, But at the end of the day, like even if I got burned, like as long as we won that void, it would be all right. If we lost the void and I got burned, I'd be super pissed and probably kill everybody. But I had support. My team was there. Blah blah blah, and but yeah, it was over after that. That's for sure.
do you think you would have quit if they zeroed you?
Would I quit? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, would you have quit if they have
Absolutely.
zeroed you and you lost a void?
If I would have been burned, I mean, the likelihood of them winning after me being burned would have been unlikely because I still would have had troops and I would have went nuts. I would have killed everything. They would have had to stay in shield for the rest of the time. I would have done it by myself if I needed to. But no, I don't quit. No, I don't give a if you catch me if you can. That's kind of the name of the game. So and yeah, you know, they caught me in a nice little trap. I won't even lie, but it's okay. It's okay. My team was there. I don't come out of the shield by myself. I'm not a solo player like that, And yeah, man, simple share of the city and you know, a big old get, it was over. So long story short is absolutely. And I don't got a lot of quit in me, It's just not something I was bred with.
Um, well, anybody else has any questions in the chat? Do drop them down. Any last questions? I think, wow, we've been going at it 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a long stream.
it's always fun. You got a bunch of good stuff going on here, Nick. Who do you guys have for Void?
Nation 30.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice reports coming out of that, or are you guys
Yeah.
gonna have like a little deal or something? You guys really fighting?
No, no deal. We obviously we have to fight. There's the only thing I do expect there's gonna be a really, really big gap during recruitment event because obviously World 30 is ready. They probably have like 5 players who are ready to go all in for their T13.
Oh really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe more than 5, but I'm pretty sure they're ready. They got Cocky. Cocky, I'm pretty sure he's gonna spam that recruitment button and just gonna recruit purely T13s
Oh
nonstop.
my gosh. uh,
I can see it. I can totally see it.
well, that just means
But
you guys are gonna have to work harder for some cool battle reports. You know.
yeah, yeah, gotta work harder during the fighting event, but who knows? It all depends what happens.
Well, I know there was a time when like
It could
30
go
and
either way.
52, like you guys didn't challenge each other in Elite War and stuff like that. You kind of left each other alone type conversation, right?
Yeah, we left each other alone. Because going against and when Nation 30 was at their top tier, I guess. Is that the word? When they were at the top,
Yeah.
I guess like their top time, um would have been a very expensive Elite War. Imagine going against 524. 524 will go all in
Yeah,
and it
for
will be
sure.
very expensive for you.
Yeah, trust me, I
So that
know.
was like that would have been Nation 30. And yeah, I don't want to spend on the light war. Why would I spend so much on the light war?
Yeah.
Do you see how it was against 52 versus 219? That was expensive.
Yeah, it's not hard to drop like 200,000 K gold in an elite war like that, you know. It's
Exactly.
ridiculous, you know. So I agree with those things, you know. Like yeah, I don't, you know, 524 same thing. It's like you roll up against them in like a DOD or a triangle war. It's like, all right, man, good luck on you know in the finals. You know, you don't even want to you know spend up against that. It's kind of pointless, you know. Like just this last DOD, we had 394. Yeah, it was DOD. We had 394 in the finals. And you know, we're a much bigger alliance than them in 425 and you know, just on paper you should be able to see that you can't beat us, you know, and I don't want to say lay down, but these guys dropped 17 gold shields, you know? Like why are you doing that? You know, are you really just trying to like make somebody mad and spend money or like what's the point? You know, like come on.
Mm, yeah, for sure.
And they couldn't even clear us,
I
you
saw
know? So it's like and we had like 4 shields,
yeah,
I feel like. Anyways.
24.
Yeah, I feel like we had like 4. Because they're not a big alliance, you know? It's like, why am I going to waste all this money? They can't kill me, you know? It's like, it'll take all of their big players to kill me with orange items, you know? It's hard to kill me in those events, you know?
Sounds very expensive.
It was for them, and they even tried to clear us. I feel like we had a count going of like 20 plus gold items for them, you know? Like in
Let's see
attack,
what
just to lose.
Polo, Polo, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think he left. Oh, if you're looking at the YouTube, can you see all these reports you guys sent me for 286?
I'm not. I'm not looking at the
Well,
YouTube.
you should look at the YouTube. How dare you?
Hold on.
But that's a lot. It's a lot of reports I'm editing in.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'm editing. Might as well. Why it looks so crooked? It looks so crooked. I don't know why it looks so crooked. Let's see if there's any questions. Okay, so James has a question for you, Lee. God, James is a big fan of you. He asked, "What makes a nation weak, in your opinion?" You're muted. I think I lost Lee God.
Nah, I'm here. I don't know. It's kind of a loaded question. It's really not about like what makes a nation weak is I don't know, not fighting, really. I mean, there's a lot of factors into that. I mean, for me, it's activity. Like I'm not you got to spend money in this game. Sure, it'd be nice to have an alliance full of spenders. Like, unfortunately, in both nations that I play, we really don't have that. In 425, we definitely have a good amount of guys who spend money. So that's obviously really nice. I mean, I feel like in 425 we have like 14 C38s or better. So we definitely have a good nation there, but that's only 14 players. We got 250 that go into a global for conversation's sake. So, for me, it's about activity. In GFK, the number one alliance of 425, I'd like to think we're kind of known out there, or whatever the case is. But I mean, 85-90% of those guys are free players or spend very, very little money, but they're active and they're there and they support and they listen and they farm gold for speed attacks and they don't care about minerals or steel because I have plenty of it. And if you need it, just ask, type conversation, and they're there, and as long as they're there and we can show up, 60 plus in an elite war, and we can be 60 plus in a speed attack on a void Sunday at certain times. Like, that's in my opinion what makes it. You know, if it's Sunday and it's prime time in your alliance, for me, American and Japan, they kind of are East Coast America anyway, kind of lines up really well. So, their night is my morning, blah, 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 vice versa. So we can get a couple of times, throughout void times, a good 2 hour clips where we have 70 plus ready to go at any time, during that 2 hour time period. So, long story short is for me, that's what makes it fun. It's what makes it where it's really hard to beat us, and things of that nature. Cause, the people who are online at the same time, and are willing to fight, are within the same alliance and supporting each other, because that's what it's about. It's a team game. It's not a me game. Sure, there are times where I have to throw the nation on my back and go do some stuff, but ultimately I can't win a void by myself, or things like that. You need your team.
Um, Solo, what do you say about that? Since your nation is newly merged, you guys have won three voids, three very hard voids on three of the most void nations out there. What do you say?
Was the question what makes a weak nation?
Yes, we'll make a nation weak.
I guess lack of teamwork. If people aren't working together to play together, then you're not going to have a nation that's strong. And I guess that also depends on what the nation is focused on. We're focused on elite war and void war. So if you don't have a nation that can bubble, you don't have a nation that can fight, then you're weak. And of course, you
Mm.
want monsters in there, but that's not the top priority. Like I would take an alliance I can get 70 to 80 people online at the same time over having a monster. Having the monsters is nice, but that doesn't really make a strong nation, right?
Right. What do I have here? Big Bird? Big Bird, do you want to say something about that too? I think he's asleep. What else do I have in here? Because I can't look at my
We're,
phone.
we're just singing Big Bird lullabies over here. He's got his ear pods in. He's asleep.
I'm
I was
packing
gonna
up
say he's
stuff to
asleep.
move right now.
Oh,
Um, I think you need unity of purpose, which is similar to what some of the other folks said. But I think a nation that's not all kind of pulling together and pulling in opposite directions, that's when you have civil war, the bad kind of civil war, where you're actually weakening the nation as opposed to a civil war where you're kind of ridding yourselves of people who are weighing you down. I think that you need to have some level of moderate spends, probably. Like, the first Void War I ever did, which was not in 459, there was a single C34 that was just so much stronger than everything else in the nation that they single-handedly tore through us. That void wasn't winnable, like, or at least I don't know, maybe I guess I look at the world differently now. I was a pretty young player at that point. But you don't need to have whales or monsters, but you need to have enough like juice in the tank that you're not just completely outstripped. Um, I don't know. I know none of the other folks talked about that, but I think there's some level of that you need. You don't need to have it at the top level or at the maximum level, but you need to have some level of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are gonna, agree with that, Big Bird man. Like at the end of the day, this game requires money, right? Like I think we all agree with that. It requires money at at most levels, and the law of averages says if you have an alliance of 100 of like minds and such, there should at least be those whatever 10 to 15 people that are spending, whatever it is they're spending, even if it's, 15 or 20 bucks a week, like they're spending, to keep those speeds, to keep those heals or, whatever the case is for, the next attack type conversation, because I'm sure we've all been in the Void Wars or even the, the recent GC, semifinals, right? Lumberg, where you just don't have anything left in the
Lumberg already
tank.
left.
I'll speak with him in vain then, like you just don't have anything left in the tank. Everything's gone. And what are you gonna do, right? Type conversation. It's like, am I gonna spend more money to win or, whatever the case. So yeah, I mean at the end of the day, the law of averages says if you got 100 people in your alliance, man, a good 20 of them are on average spending money in this game. So it's just kind of, for the most part, I feel like, the way it works. And yeah, you got to have it, unfortunately, unless you just have like a bazillion active players and, you can farm them to death, you know, because a free player, right? I think I've done the math and, I have quite a few examples in 425 because we have a lot of free players, like literally zero money. And all they do is farm gold. They obviously participate in all events, elite wars, and blah 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 to get gold. And at the end of the day, they average, about 6 speed attacks, big speed attacks per void, or whatever the case is. So they're making sure that they
Well,
have.
we have the biggest free player in here, Himiko. She's well known for how she plays on a budget or barely
Yeah,
spends, right, Himiko?
I got guys that spend zero. What I'm saying is free players,
Yeah.
not even buying a speed pack or a League of Legends or whatever it's called. Like nothing. Like they have no source of income and type conversation. And, just by giving what the game gives you alone, you got to figure that a speed attack, is going to cost you 2,500 gold for conversation's sake, you know? And with that being said, you can only have so much, when you're not spending money. So what my players are getting is about 5 to 6 speed attacks per event. So they need to be properly
You're gonna
planned.
say something, Himiko? I saw her mic go out. Sorry. Himi? Okay, I lost Himiko. You can continue, Legal. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think that there's only so much that the game gives you. I mean, obviously, there's some nice ways to spend a couple of $2, $3 here and there, and I think
Mm-hmm.
every alliance has got that handful of players that spends a couple of dollars to get their speeds, or they get the limited pack that comes out, or a random weekly pack, whatever it is. So, long story short, there's plenty of those in there, but I mean, I know at least anyway in my alliance, like we have charts, we have, suggestions, do this and by next void you're gonna have this much gold. And we can like get it to like within a few hundred gold type conversation. And as long as they can get into the proper gold mines, it works out well for the free player. Now they don't grow much, They typically get to the C35 range and kind of just hang out, you know, because they don't grow much. You know, still a lot of them are C34s, but they're hanging out with their 700 LRA, and and they have a proper build, and they're always there. And that's the big thing. They're always there. I don't care how much money. If you're online every time, for an elite war, if you're online every time, when I hit Discord, that's how it's done. It's like when I hit
Was that you, Himi?
that's how it's done. I hit the Discord and they're the first ones in. Like in the alliance chat, hidden with an X or whatever the case is. That's what I
All
love.
right. All right, I get the last question for you because this is gonna be the last question.
Yeah, I was just gonna
So
say, but
Geraldo has one question for you, Lead God. I guess everybody's here for Lead God today, which is okay. This is great. So Lead God, are you okay? Geraldo, you should just write them in Spanish. I can translate it because I'm barely understanding this sentence in English. All right. Are you saying fighting in those are okay, are you bored from fighting those younger globes? Would it be interested for you to fight global conquest against 255, 52, 30, 269, 288, etc.?
I mean, no, that doesn't interest me. That's out of my league. It's out of my nation's league. And things like that. I mean, in my current global conquest, I mean, sure, I'm in the finals, but in the finals, I can't win. I'm out of my league. You know, so like, no, I mean, I feel like I'm in the right place. I just don't get merged at the right time, or whatever the case may or may not be. So no, I wouldn't want to go face a 52 because we would just be outmatched and look like the suck a duck in the corner. So I wouldn't want that for anybody for that matter. Now Nation 30 or whatever, I don't even know what that group looks like right now. It's probably ridiculous. So who is in the finals, Nikki?
The ones in the finals are Nation 255, 114. Mm, who's the other one? 285. Who's the last nation? I'm thinking. Polo, help me here. Who's the last nation? 52, 255.
255, 285, 269, and 114.
Yeah, you mi-
Oh,
you missed 269. You missed Polo's nation.
I know. They just beat us.
We forgot
Too
about
funny. Too funny.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like that. That's
Uh,
that's out of my league. I can't compete with any one of those nations. Like I might be able to take on like 255 him or something like that. Like pound for pound. We can go at it. But like nation for nation, no way, man. That's a slaughterhouse. You drop 425 in that global conquest, and we're hanging out surrounding one tower, looking like a bunch of idiots. You know. And that's just
that
like,
would be
man,
fun.
I mean, sure, I'll come to the, capital and mess around with some people and, whatever, but like, we're not getting any points, you know?
No, you're just gonna get run over.
Yeah, I mean, that's no fun. I'd get run over if 425 were to attempt to try to get points this global conquest against 299 and 379 and 343. I feel like we would just be ousted the moment we got into a tower, you know? If it wasn't by one nation, it would be by the other. Sure, we might get a good defense in, but how long are we really going to stay in the tower? You know?
All right. All right, I'm getting close to stream because it's super late. It's gonna about to be 1 in the morning for me, and probably it's already morning for some
Yeah,
guys.
1 in the morning for me.
So,
Okay,
Lee God,
Nikki. Thank you so much for your
I
time, honey. We'll
know.
talk to you later.
No, thank you for coming. But there's one last question for
Yeah,
you.
shoot.
Who will win global conquest on your side?
On my side, my opinion, 379 is going to be the victorious winner. So put your gold there.
Not you?
Nah, again, we're outmatched. We're an unmerged nation against three merged nations.
Wow.
You know,
Well, Kimiko, who do you think in your side is gonna win? Do you think 299 has the power to do it?
Yes. I'm gonna have. Yeah, I think we could get it. We could do it.
She has faith. She
Yeah,
has
I
faith.
do have faith.
Well, if everybody wants
I
to
think
vote for 299, go ahead.
for sure. I feel like if 425 fought to win and try and take towers and stuff like that, then 299 would win. You know, but we're not. We're gonna just go there and fuck shit up. Sorry, Nikki.
No, they're gonna come and burn us. They already know it.
You may know it.
Nah, it should be
Polo?
fun, and I appreciate you
Yeah,
guys tonight. It'll be fun regardless, and yeah. Hopefully, 425 will get a nice merger here in November. I think we'll get a nice little merger
absolutely.
class.
Hmm,
Hopefully, we'll be in there, but until then, we'll play our part. You know.
for sure. Polo, do you have faith? Do you have faith for
I'm
269 to
I'm
go
just trying to
against?
think, yeah, who's gonna win that one and why you guys were saying that. I don't know much about 114, but I feel like is it a fight between 269 and 285? Is that really what it is?
No, I think it's more of a fight of 269 versus 255.
Really?
Well, 285 got their shit together. They're combining.
Yeah.
They're combining alliances. Um, so and
That's
114 came out of nowhere. Although I think 286 was burning Nation One a lot, just so Nation One wouldn't win. So I really don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be mayhem.
it's gonna be mayhem, that's
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. You guys got any extra cities? I'll come play for a day.
You want to come play in 269?
Nah, I just come play global, you know. Nah, I'll be in 425 probably. But that's gonna. You guys should live stream that. You guys is anybody doing that?
Well, we'll do something.
Somebody should definitely live stream
Are we
that.
doing something?
Do you
Is that an invite?
do you want to do something, Nikki?
Cause I'll be
Is that an
I'll
invite?
be
Yeah.
all over that, Nikki, for sure. So I would love to see those guys go at it. I don't know much about
You
114.
know,
They might have got the easy road there type conversation, but
I never have live stream a global finale. I think live streaming a global finale will be interesting. What do you guys think? Would that be interesting?
I mean it's something that I personally asked VIP about. Like I don't know, eight or probably two or three globals in. I was like, if you're not in the finals, like there's so many people that would watch it, you know? So like what are you guys doing? Like somebody should have a live stream because if you're not in the finals, you can't watch or unless you're in that nation, you know?
Uh, my question would be, how would I stream which round, you know? Because, like, okay, we go into round one, and then we gotta wait, what, 3 or 4 hours for the next round, or 5 hours? You know how split they are?
Yeah, I mean ultimately the only way it would really work is if somebody wasn't going to be entering 250 and you can get in there and somehow stream it. I feel like it's the only real way.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
somebody wasn't
Polo, you and I can figure it out.
if
We can
somebody
figure
wasn't
it
going to be
out.
250 around or something, you can sneak a farm or something in there just to get in and you know do what you can do. Then you can load it up on YouTube and everything.
Mhm. I think a live stream would be nice.
Especially for that,
It has to
especially
be a round where,
especially for that one.
sorry.
You got to do third. If you're going to do one round, Nick, you got to do the third round because that's the one that matters. We all know.
Well, depending who's in it. Because like it has to be a round that all of them, all four of them are like fighting super hard on it. Right, Polo?
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be all the rounds though.
Yeah. It
You
will be.
have like a poll and then find out who's gonna like which one will have the highest. No, I feel like you guys are all gonna have 250 out of 250.
We'll all
Maybe.
have 250 out of 250 for all
Yeah.
three.
There you go.
For sure.
There you go. Then it's gonna be hard.
Did 114 have 250 players?
I don't know, but
I
everyone's going to be
doubt
trying
it.
extra hard for the final.
Yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Round three will
And
be
the lag will
round
be
three will
as
be
always
the
there.
nastiest one. Does 269 have a lot of Asian players?
We are about half.
About half.
Yeah, we got a good mix between
Yeah.
America, Asia, and Europe.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah,
Oh, so
I'd
six
want to be on
hours
there
and 30
round three, Nikki. I
minutes.
feel like that's going to be the heater. They're going to get a taste for each
All
other in round
right.
one. Round two is going to be Asia busting each other's ass, and then round three, it's going to, somebody's going to need some points, and they're going to try really hard.
All right, Polo, you and I can talk about it tomorrow. It's already late for both of us.
Yeah, me too. It's almost 1 a.m. Night all. Thank you.
All right then. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Himiko. Thank you, Lead God, for coming in. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Polo.
You guys have a
Thank you,
good
Polo, for
night.
coming in.
Welcome.
See you, everyone.
Thank you. You guys have a good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you everybody who has joined the podcast. I hope we were helpful in the topics that were talked about. Hopefully, we were very helpful for you guys. If anything, we ask a question later. So yeah, thank you for joining, and I hope to see you guys in the next podcast. Have a good night or a good morning. Bye bye.